Hey, and just giving a couple of seconds for everything to start. I'm Cami, this is Man Frand, and we like to talk about things that we disagree on. If you've never heard Man Frand podcast, you can find it on iTunes. But I'm Cami, Man Frand. I'm
Hey.
from New Zealand. Man Frand is from the deep south of
Mississippi.
the States. And we've been in a relationship for 4 years. We've been living in sin for quite a while. And we disagree on so much, but
Yes, we
it
do.
makes for a very fun relationship, I would say.
Sometimes.
We're, but yeah, we're definitely like the odd couple, but we laugh a lot and we enjoy, we enjoy the fact that we are so different, sometimes,
Hmm.
right? Sometimes we don't. So we've talked a lot in our Man Friend podcast about how bad your road rage is.
It's gotten better over the years. But yes, in my head, yes.
Now he's not a rager, rager other times of the day. Like he doesn't like
I don't chase
see
people
something
though.
on the news and start yelling. He doesn't ram people with his cart in the grocery store.
Mm.
He doesn't trip up old ladies.
He
Um,
just said he doesn't see it on Twitch.
yeah, I know he was on there though.
Okay.
It's all right. We'll figure it out.
Alrighty.
So what I'm saying is your road rage is most certainly a road rager thing, right? It's not anywhere else.
I mean, it's always been my teapot. I think everyone has their teapot. And that is my teapot. And it used, as I was younger, I was definitely more brazen and stupid. Oh, what's up there? Okay. All right, we got a lot of stuff popping. We're going to take
Okay, well,
notifications
you
off.
need to quit being distracted.
Well, I'm squirrel. It happens. But on road rage, yes, people who know around me, some probably don't ride with me anymore from the high school days.
His mother.
She does ride with me, but there have been many instances centered around how I might act in a vehicle. And yes, I was more brazen, and I would like to finish. I can tell you just want to talk. I can feel it. I get very passionate about it and about stupid and slow and so many things. I get passionate about when it comes to jerk, dumb ass drivers. So,
So my whole
yeah,
thing is when it comes to road rage, it is something that we like. I hate. I hate it. Now I have to like ignore it. I laugh at it. I don't engage with him when he's like that because he is so insane.
I'm not so insane like I used to be. I
Not
mean,
like
I
he used to
used to
be.
be crazy. Now, condense it to I keep it in my truck.
He doesn't.
There is a finger every once in a while. I know it shouldn't happen, but a finger every once in a while that comes up. But I might yell and cuss and just let the teapot boil it within my truck. Every once in a while, if I know some dumbass is going to try to merge on me or gun it and merge, yes, I will push my gas up a little more so they can't because they were jackasses who saw the line or the big sign about half a mile back and then a quarter mile back and decided to still gun it so they could wedge themselves in front of me. I will push it so they cannot and put them into the wall if they so choose to keep on the
Okay,
gas.
so you get my point. He
But
is a road rager.
in my head, yes, I imagine many things.
Okay, so when we went on a little bit of a drive, we got stuck in a little bit of traffic yesterday. I witnessed quite literally
Mm-hmm.
the most wonderful moment of my life. I I almost feel like all your road rage would have evaporated after it. It was the single. I mean, are you gonna cry?
No, I won't cry, but
I mean, he is so
I'm
emotional.
trying to think of how best to describe
What
what
happened?
I felt yesterday. And I mean, I
Basically,
hadn't felt that in my life.
for this first part of it, this first part of this conversation, you have witnessed how bad his road rage is.
I get
He
very
is
frustrated.
very angry whenever he drives.
It's
Yesterday, we had a situation where we were stuck in traffic
on an interstate.
on an interstate. There was something happening up ahead, right? So, miles before the incident up ahead, you saw an arrow that said merge to the right happening in like 2 miles or something, wasn't it? And so we were in the right hand lane.
Buying an 18 wheeler, I mean, just doing it, and it was getting closer. I think the first time we saw it, it said it's going to happen in coming up, you're going to have to merge. Then it was a mile, then it was half a mile.
So merge from the left lane into the
Basically,
right lane.
on one lane, they've been cleaning up from the debris from all the hurricanes. So they had big trucks that were blocking it up. And I think even to do it even further down, there had been a wreck at one point that slowed traffic down even more. So it wasn't standstill, but it was very slow. But there were massive orange signs on the left saying you need to get to the right.
So, needless to say, we're in the right lane, and we are behind a big 18-wheeler, which is, massive.
Doing just fine. No issues with
No
it.
issues. Well, what we were noticing was that a lot of cars on the left-hand side were gunning it real fast and doing that thing where they get right up to the front where it merges and like pushing their way in.
We couldn't see the merge yet. Okay, I'm going to discuss this because our storytelling is great in some aspects. Others, I think you need the details.
Whatevs.
And the thing was, it wasn't so much, you saw people gunning up on the left lane, and this is still when there was time coming up, but we had all passed signs that said it's going to merge.
Yeah.
So they want to get up in front of the 18-wheelers. We're on an interstate. 18-wheelers are everywhere. What we start noticing is people coming that were in the right lane getting impatient, and then so they go out, floor it, cut in front. You would see them, I could see them on my side, like wedging in front of the 18-wheeler in front of us or other people just so they could be ahead. But what they're doing now is now they're slowing us because it's basically just moving the line, putting it in front of us, pushing us further back. And it sucks. And all those people, if I had a roll cage, I would ram every single one of them off the street.
Wow, you did pull a finger at one of them.
I did, that trashy SOB.
That was rude. You
I
shouldn't have
don't
done
care.
Okay. We probably shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have done that.
Anywho.
And they didn't even see.
So this happened.
paying
This
attention to their
happened for
phone.
a while. This happened for what? Probably about 20 minutes.
It was at least probably 10 to 15 of them driving. A little bit.
It was pretty crap, and we were slower and slower and slower. Basically, we were just getting screwed.
Because you couldn't really see around too, and you don't want to gun it around unless you know you got enough space. But people knew because it was closing in half mile. Well, no, it was a mile and stuff, and then we started witnessing the miracle after about a mile when there was about a mile.
Do you need
left.
a moment before you?
No,
talk about
I mean
it?
if you.
The miracle.
Do you-
It was so emotional. You actually said, "This is better than watching my first."
Well, I don't have a child, but I've heard people talk about it, and I imagine it's pretty close.
I mean, my heart.
Can I describe it, or are you going to describe it? Because if you describe it, then I need to know what details to come back and add in.
You describe it, huh?
Listen, through all my life driving, this is serious. I always look for somebody who's going to stand up because it's really the unjust stuff that ticks me off. The people who are like, I don't need to wait on this side. I don't need to wait in this line. I don't need to really stop at the red light. I don't need, all those things. So I love when you can see someone, put the brakes, slow someone down, do something to keep those assholes where they need to be. Well, we look back and all of a sudden, because basically when you looked in the rearview mirror, you could tell that on behind me, were a lot of cars. Those were the cars that were pulling out, shifting out, gunning in front, and sometimes almost causing a wreck with the 18-wheeler in front of us. Because you don't just stop in front of a commercial vehicle like that or wedge. You're going to get hurt. But so there's an 18-wheeler further back, probably about 10 vehicles back. And then as those vehicles behind us, in between that and the 18-wheeler start fading away, it gets to be where it's just the 18-wheeler. And then you look and there's an angel in the fast lane. A Chevy full-size truck, like four-wheel drive. I mean, newer model. And you can't tell who's driving. I mean, you can tell they're shorter like me. But you see them nose and nose. And I'm so excited. With the 18-wheeler. And they just are staying nose and nose. Like them and the 18-wheeler were on the same page. And they did that, going slow until it all merged. And then the 18-wheeler let the Chevy in front, and then we were all in one lane. But they held it long. This wasn't a brief moment. I mean, this is like 15 minutes at least of them holding. And I mean, I rolled my window down and tried to do a big thumbs up and, or whatever else. And I mean, it was just this older trucker-looking lady, but who didn't even notice probably or give a crap. She was just doing what she knew was right, and it was the best thing I've seen ever in my life. It was like the heavens, the clouds parted, and the heavens shone down. That person, listen, if I had something to give them, I would have given it. If there was a way,
bought them dinner.
If I could have called them up today, I mean, that person is like just the most. I mean, it was great. It was.
And it went on for like 10 minutes.
It was almost because I don't know who that person is. I only briefly got a glimpse. So it's just a symbol, like a Superman symbol or like a Batman, like the bat light.
Maybe it was an angel thing.
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. And I'm not lying. I've never felt like that. I've seen acts of people putting jerk drivers in their place. I've been a part of some of those, but I've never seen anything so angelic as this. And it was the best thing I've seen in my life.
It was very emotional. And I mean, you look like your breath, like you just look.
I haven't
took
smiled.
Your breath away.
I mean, it was the best thing I've ever seen.
So did seeing an awesome driver yesterday make you change your mind about bad drivers? Did it make you realize that not everyone out there is a bad driver?
Well, I know not everyone out there is a bad driver.
Do you though?
I really do. I mean, you go out there, and there are certain areas you realize. But, to me, it's like each driver has to prove they're smart to me. And I know that's wrong and conceited, but it's kind of how it is. Because, like that person, I would have never bothered because I saw it. People who use blinkers, you're never going to see anything. You're going by the law. People who know when they can get in the fast lane and when they're too slow, so they need to go in a slow lane.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all normal people. It's the other people that all of a sudden decide that they are above everyone else. And this is maybe little man syndrome. I don't know what it is. But it's the people that decide they don't have to go by any rules of the road. And
I'm back to it.
Any rules of the road. And they suck. And they just think they're better than anybody. And they just want to go around you and because whatever else. Well, I'm out there daily trying to prove some of those wrong. When it's a red light, if it's a red light and you should have stopped and mine's green and I'm coming this way, I'm going to scare the shit out of you. And I'm going to lay on my horn and go gun it like I'm going to hit you and then slam on my brakes to scare the shit out of you and hope it doesn't happen. And I know that's crazy on my part. But to me, if I can just change one asshole driver, my life has purpose.
Good job. Hey, so we forgot in our last one, we always turn it around after I ask you a question. What's your question for me?
I know you have pet peeves because she is a good driver, no tickets or anything like that. But like when it's raining, I've seen you yell at people like I yell at people.
Yeah.
So what is your biggest pet peeve that you see someone do? And I'm not saying road rage when you're sitting with me.
No,
when you are driving, what is your biggest pet peeve that just pisses you off that someone else does?
Oh, I like what Tori said. Focus on the good drivers and you'll start noticing more and more of them.
Huh?
You see what she said?
Oh, that is a sweet way, and I like to. It's probably just because I'm an old man now and it's the habits, but it is. And you know what? Yesterday that angel came down and showed me a good driver and showed me there's still people in this world that want to drive good and are good drivers. Yeah. What is your pet peeve? I know you have them, but I can't remember like specific ones. I know when it's like
tailgating me.
When it's storming, I know that a lot of things get you upset because you're already tense. You don't like driving in the rain. I mean, who does?
But yeah, I mean, I don't like that. That's not a pet peeve. Pet peeve of mine is anyone tailgating me. I literally hate it. And I'm never...
What do you consider tailgating?
The way you drive.
Listen, there's at least...
And I'm not even in the left lane. I'm in the right lane.
There's at least sometimes car and a half length in between me. To me, tailgating is when my nose is right on that rear end. That is when I'm tailgating. And I have great brakes. But if someone, and I don't get on someone's tail like that. I used to be horrible at that. But if someone gets on their tail like that, I will brake check the hell out of them, and then they can buy me a new damn bumper.
Yeah.
Because I will slam on brakes and scare the shit out of them, and they'll probably get pissed. But if they're going to ride me like that...
Well, I mean, I don't do that because I'm normal.
But tailgating, for you...
I can't stand people tailgating. It's disgusting.
I'm saying you think if I'm 5 car lengths away, you're like, you're too close.
Honey, everyone thinks you drive too close.
Well, I'm not going to disregard that, but I also know the level of my brakes, so I know what I can handle.
So I hate that. I also, what else do I hate with driving? I cannot stand people that.
Well, it might not be that much of a pet peeve if you can't think of it. I mean, I've heard you yell.
I mean, that's tailgating is my.
It's usually normal stuff if someone just ran a light or cut in front of you or something and.
Oh, look, like Victoria, do you ever brake check?
Well, we talked about that.
Riding slower than the speed limit in the passing lane drives me. Yeah.
Oh, that's crap. Those people are the devil, and they're the dumbest, most conceited narcissists that ever live on this earth. And I tell you, I used to have a dream. I had a dream, like when I was younger and really rambunctious and did stuff that I maybe shouldn't be alive for now, or I should be arrested for. I don't know. No one ever got hurt, just how I acted. But I always wanted to be so rich that I could buy like a Hummer back in the day, put a roll cage around it, like the city, and I used to tell people, I want it to be so rich that I could just ram these people off the road and just write a check to pay for whatever was wrong with them, so I could get them all, I just get off and nail them. And then
That's awful.
And then I just pay for their car or any medical bills. But
what if you kill them?
Well, that's a shame. I'd make sure their family is doing all right. But I would really try
that's
not
awful.
to.
That is so bad.
Hey, I don't say that now. I mean, I would like to have a roll cage to hit somebody. There's a big truck that was an asshole last night.
Anyway,
small penis syndrome.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your traffic Jesus.
Oh, my God, traffic Jesus.
Because I think that to you is the biggest pet peeve there ever is.
My nickname for
So explain what it is.
Imagine yourself. You're in 5 o'clock traffic. You're in busy lunch traffic. Whatever. You're in heavy traffic. Traffic Jesus is that person that says they want to save everybody that's, around them. And what I mean by that is, they don't give a crap about the people that have been lying behind them or have work to get back to or anything else. They're just like, we're going to let's let everybody in front of me. You just turn. If you got your blinker, just keep coming. I'll actually sit here and wait 5 minutes for you to come because I'm traffic Jesus. Screw them. At times, you need to let people in, but these are people who it's like, I'm just going to be good. Let's let the whole Chick-fil-A to-go line. Let's just be on Dolphin Street. And when people are coming out of the Chick-fil-A, let's just keep on going. Y'all just all keep. No one behind me has a job to go to. It's bullshit. Let one car, if you want to do that, go. And sometimes that sucks.
But don't you think that it is friendly to do that?
Well, if one person or something like that. But I'm also going to do a caveat, and this is just my personal pet peeve. I don't care. We can stop. I'm on a rant here.
Okay, go.
Traffic Jesus has pissed me off. I know, and sometimes you'll let one car in. But one of the things I've done for years, and it still happens, and I do it, call me an asshole or not, I really don't care. But every once in a while, I am nice. And if people have their blinker on and they've had it on for a while, or it's kind of you have that eye-to-eye meet and they're like, can I get in here? Then I'll gladly, usually let them because they're being polite. But I'm going to tell you this. If I let somebody in, for one, that is not something I like to do a lot. Mm-hmm. But if I do let somebody in and then they drive like crap,
go do the way.
They drive like crap. They just burned it the rest of the week for anyone else getting in. I don't care who needs to get in. I mean, outside of an emergency vehicle that has lights, and I'll get arrested if I don't let them, no one else. That person just burned it because they're a dumbass. If they don't do the little wave where I see them in the back, like, thank you for letting me in.
Yeah.
Bullshit. And
okay, so one thing, though, that I think that, just
I put Bailey's in this coffee for this.
Good job, babe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the thing that I don't really agree with you. I think traffic Jesus is a nice, but I will say one thing I do agree with you on that.
Okay.
Anytime it's a 4-way stop, because I think what happens when it's a 4-way stop, and a traffic Jesus comes along, you're screwing up the whole circle.
They think they're being nice, and you know what? That's good. There are good people in the world, but they think they're being nice. But in doing that, they're not thinking of the ripple effect that truly does happen. Like I can be flexible getting back to lunch. From lunch or something, but other people aren't flexible when they get back. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good to have nice people, but like you said, four-way stops, especially when the power's out.
Well,
Like
no one knows how to do it anyway.
Apparently no one knows how to drive, but it's like someone's like, oh, just come on, because y'all got there. No, someone make a decision so we can all start going on how we know how to do a four-way stop. So I agree with that. I do. They don't realize the effect they have. They think they're just being nice. They don't realize that it throws off the whole flow then.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things that you'll be not happy to know.
That is
zipper
true.
system.
That is,
yeah. One of the things that you'll be not very happy to know is the most recent time when we had the power outage.
Yeah.
And I had to go through some of those.
The hurricanes, yeah.
I had to go through some of the four-way stops.
With no lights, yeah.
Yeah.
You flipped off.
I got honked at every time.
I bet you did. I believe it.
Every time. And I was trying really, really, really hard to
around where we were at, it was very, I would say, very Thunderdome-ish, Mad Max.
Yes, it was
basically,
very scary.
It was, this group's going to decide to go. There's no rhyme or reason anyway. You know how a four-way is supposed to work. Of course, there's side roads on certain areas, turn lanes. It is crazy. It's different than usual, so cops should be at those intersections. However, people would just go. You would have it to where it'd be a four-way, and it's like instead of that pair of cars going, then the next pair of car going, basically cars just kept going and until someone brave enough from another lane decided they need to stop going and would wedge themselves.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, Siri's talking too. She shouldn't understand. You don't drive. Either way, it was, I mean, you risked your life. And I mean, I was literally scared going to a four-way because you did not know when someone else was just going to come out.
If you encountered me on the road, what would you do?
If I was behind you and you were one just still sitting there and it was our turn and you missed it, it depends on how long you might get an initial honk, but if it went around a second time and you were still sitting there, you would have gotten the lay down.
You would have honked at me.
I would have laid it on.
You would have honked at me.
Well, no, if I knew it was you, I would call you up and say, move your ass.
That wouldn't go down very
I'd be like, hey, move the ass. Come on.
Okay. Well, anywho, basically, I am so happy that I've never seen you so happy.
I've never seen something. I mean, it's like witnessing a miracle. I hate to do that because I am religious and compare it to something so divine. But
that was a traffic Jesus you could get on board with.
I mean, that was the most amazing thing I've seen in my life. I mean, I'm going to live off that high for a little while. It's the best thing I've seen in my life. It's like someone punching a Karen in like a public freak out Reddit video or something, and they're just, and then someone just bam, and it's like that. And it was like seeing that in person. I just can't.
That's awful. Okay.
I need a nap.
Yeah, that was good. So just a reminder, we're doing Twitch now. So 6 o'clock Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're just trying out Twitch today. Get a little of the beer.
Trying out those days too. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, seeing if those days work. But yeah, definitely teach us some of the lingo because I'm still kind of learning some of the lingo when it comes to Twitch.
I'm not going to learn any lingo, so she's going to learn
but
it.
I'm going to learn some of it.
This is what you get.
And you can find us on Twitch at Radio Girl Cami. That's the handle. I think that's what they call it. I don't know. I'm still learning. But you can do that. And, of course, you can always find our Man Frand podcast. You can find it on iTunes and Google Play, I think. And manfriendpodcast.com is where all the links are. So, anywho.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye.